And welcome in one more time to the Ultimate Soccer pre-game. And this one, Wrexham taking on Wycombe. The match that we have been waiting for all season long. Ever since Wrexham beat Wycombe 3-2 at the Stoke Kairas, you and I have been waiting for this game to come around. You and I being Wrexham fans and Wycombe fans. Because let's face it, I think they feel a little peeved with that loss back then. But it was self-inflicted, if you know what I mean. You'll see in the highlights coming up next real soon. And let's face it, Wycombe want revenge. And this 3 points could be a 6-point game, if you know what I mean, because they've got a game in hand on Wrexham. And if they win this one, it's as good as 6 points because Wrexham don't lose many, but Wycombe don't lose many too. So it's going to be very interesting to see where these 3 points end up, or will it be a point apiece? I say welcome in worldwide Wrexham fans, welcome in Wycombe fans, wherever you are. Like, subscribe, get into this show. We're going to go into the highlights right away from what happened the last time around, and then we're going straight into League One matches with a top 6 focus. And you want to hang around for the whole show, Wycombe and Wrexham fans, because there's stuff here for both teams. Into the highlights right now, straight after League One top 6 focus, and then we're moving along. Welcome. Starts off well for Wrexham on 9. Cleworth taps in. 1-0 early start in front of the fourth wall. Jump for joy, Max. Jump for joy. Goal of the season now. Lee chips into Ollie Palmer. Ollie flicks it high. Marriott curls it into the top corner. Goal of the season. I wonder if it's going to be goal of the season. Let's hope so. Beautiful goal. Wycombe would not be denied. They keep battling. Coney gets on the end, turns, swivels, and you just saw him slam it in the net. And Wycombe think they clear straight to Stevie Fletcher. I'm sure you remember that goal. And Stevie's saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. Folks would head in on the far post on 89, and that was it. 3-2 on the day. So there you go, highlights through. 3-2 last time around. Great game, lots of action, really lots of shots, lots of great passing. It was a football match, and it also had a lot of physical nature to it too. I expect the same this time around, and Wycombe are a good unit at home, so this is going to be tough for Wrexham to get anything out of this. Wycombe definitely are the favourite on the day. I got to say that without a shadow of a doubt. A couple of things. Last time around with the live commentary, big apology. There was something blown on the mic. Brand new mic, but something was blown. It won't happen this time. Parts have been replaced, and the live commentary, although not terrible, will be like I want it, clear sound. So big apologies, and thanks for, I think it was Phil Weston who said I sounded like Dalek, and I got quite a kick out of that, let me tell you. Quite a kick. Anyway, the 2-0 loss to Reading, don't worry about it. You can't be down. The mic being down was probably a bad omen on the day, so blame me for the loss, if you will. And above all, don't be down. Don't be down. Do not be down. And I'm not looking at that last game with rose-coloured glasses either. Yeah? It wasn't a bad game. It was just a few moments of unfortunate play. And I'm not going to say anything about the referee making a terrible call for a penalty kick. I'm not going to mention that at all. No, not going to say anything. Okay, guys. Get into League One games now with a top 6 focus. And it won't take long at all. So looking to your right, that's the menu. That'll tell you where we're going on this show. To the left is the current live table with some features on who's going to win the league or who's going to get relegated. Let's take a look at the matches this week. There's the full lineup. 2 early matches. Bolton and Cambridge are kicking off early. We want to focus, as usual, on the top 6 right now. We've got an all top 6 battle. Bolton taking on Stockport. Yes, that's 6 taking on 5th. Could go either way. You never know. But I got a slight feel Bolton might get something here. Charlton in 4th in great form. Welcoming in Wigan Athletic. And I tell you, Wigan in 15th are looking probably for another loss here. Birmingham City, eventual title winners, are travelling away to Northampton Town in 19th. Northampton, no real form, but only 1 loss in 5. Make that 2 losses in 6. And to finish off, we've got another all top 6 battle, and this is a luscious match. Wycombe taking on Wrexham. Wycombe should be the favourites to take all 3 points on this one, but we're in for an amazing match. So let's see who bosses it in those 2 top 6 head-to-head battles. And let's not forget the other 2 games too. But I tell you, whoever wins those matches, it makes a difference, especially in this one. Remember, it could be a 6-point battle. Wrexham need to win this, in my mind, to stay level with the points and the games ratio moving to the end of the season. This is imperative that Wrexham get something out of it. A draw is acceptable because of the 8 games to glory coming up. You're going to see that video pretty soon. But a draw fits in with what I'm looking at. Now, 10 things to tell you. Well, not exactly 10 things, but there's 10 matches to go. We're in the mix. We're really in the mix. We're 10 points above 7th, which means the playoffs are getting safer by the week. 10 points above 7th, well, that means at worst we lose another 3 games and draw. Well, people like Huddersfield in 7th can kind of catch us up. So that gives you a little bit more, I'd say it takes the blood pressure down a little to know that you're in a slot for the playoffs looking good, not secured, yeah? But I tell you, the next 10 games, Wrexham, in my opinion, to claim promotion, needs 7 wins. 7 wins out of the next 10 games, in my mind, should be good enough to get Wrexham in a second on 90 points. And there's 3 games there within, you can drop 1 or 2 games with a draw and possibly 2 losses. Those numbers do come in because when you're looking, well, let's put it this way. I'm going to tease you a bit, but when you're looking at Wycombe, there's something I found that I think you might want to see. It's coming up right now in the season in lights. Wycombe fans, you get to see what your team's done all season long, just like Wrexham fans. But get into this all season long, see what your team has done, see what Wrexham's done, and see what's recently happened to your club, because Mr. Bloomfield's no longer there. But Mr. Dodds is, and Mr. Phil Parkinson, has been there all season. Having a coach there all season long makes a big difference. And when a coach comes in, well, you're going to find out. Take a look. Season in lights, Wrexham and Wycombe Wanderers. Enjoy. And there is Wrexham's season in lights. If you're a Wycombe fan, we'll get to your team very shortly and we'll do the same process. But that's Wrexham. Big up to Wrexham fans worldwide and OGs in Wrexham itself. Gotta say, this season looks great. Better than most would have expected. And we're on track to get into the playoffs, at least into the playoffs, and maybe into the automatic spots. You never know. Wait for the video to come. 8 games to glory. It's on its way. Now, let's take a look at Wycombe. As the headline says, Wycombe perform home or away, and they do. But there's been one change, and we're going to get to that very shortly. But look at the season, the last 10, 4-5-1, 11-6 plus 5 for 17 points out of 30, 56%. The last 5, you can see it, 53%. Not the greatest. Hey, but you know what? They're hanging on to second, and they're not going to give it up lightly. New coach, Mike Dodds, came in. He's assistant from Sunderland, if you didn't know. But since he's came in, 7 games, 2 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss. 3 games were at home, 4 games were on the road, yeah? But check this out, 10 points from 21. That make you think. Winning record, 28%. Are Wycombe the same under Dodds? Because under Matt Bloomfield, who left for Luton in January, they were 48% on the winning ratio. Again, Bloomfield 48%, Dodds 28%. This could work into Wrexham's favour. So there you go, season in lights. It tells a story. It really tells a story. And when you look at Wycombe with the 2 coaches, i.e. Bloomfield, Matt Bloomfield from the start of the season with a 48% winning record right on the bat, yeah, overall. And Dodds has come in, although from Sunderland, great club, but he's come in and his numbers are 28% right now, yeah? 7 matches in, still very early, yeah? 2 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss. But it is showing that they could only close the deal twice in 7 games. That's what I'm saying. Only the 1 loss. Respect. But it makes me wonder whether Wycombe were a better team under Matt Bloomfield than they are now. The player core won't change, but the philosophy behind the players will. And sometimes a new coach comes in and unwittingly and unknowingly, he causes a little wave within the machine and it jilts people. And some people get the jaw out of place or their ego is dented for some reason, whatever reason. But good things happen too as well when a coach comes in, yeah? He can bring someone who's been sitting into the play and make them turn their form around and be inspirational on the team and bring that up too. So it can go either way. But when a coach comes in, things change. Their form has changed. I've seen it. You have too. If not, you now know too. Before we get on to the stats and starters, top scorers, Dangerman for Wrexham fans, listen up. Richard Kone, top league scorer, 17 goals. Yeah, Daniel Udo, 8 goals. Odinyeya, 6 goals. And Cameron Humphreys, 6. And then there's a whole host of guys on 4 goals down to 1. And obviously those guys who haven't scored. Take in the stats and the starters from the last match. It'll tell a story moving into this match. Absolutely. Last time the Red Dragons played the Chairboys was way back in the season, game number 1. Those are the stats, and I tell you what, press pause, you get longer with the picture, but those are the stats as they stand right now and as they stood after 90 plus minutes from the 3-2 win at the Stoke Keras. Checking out the starting lineups from that day, well, Phil had it this way. Pretty much what you've seen a lot of the season so far, yeah? Substitutes used on the day, Evans, Dorby, Revan and Fletcher. Wycombe, firstly, under Matt Bloomfield before he left for Luton, and that's what it looked like. And he had a top team going. And under Bloomfield, I think and I feel really that Wycombe were probably slightly better off. But give the new guy a chance. Mikey Dodds coming in from Sunderland. Hey, you know what? Hasn't done too bad so far. 2 wins from 7, 4 draws and 1 loss. But again, under Bloomfield, I feel they were better. Bloomfield had a 48% win ratio, and Dodds is only 28%. When you look at both those lineups, all I'll say is this. It's pretty much what you're going to see right now, bar 1 or 2 changes, yeah, and the introduction of players coming in, yeah. But I got to say, what you see there is the nucleus of what you're going to see now. Just 2 coaches going against each other that didn't before. Top scorers, Wycombe fans, listen up for Wrexham. Cleworth, 32 games and 7 goals. Elliot Lee, 30 games, 7 goals, as is Super Stephen Fletcher. Yeah, most of his games have come from the bench, though, not 30 starts. Ollie Rathbone, 31 games, 6 goals. For me, this is one of the inspirations of the season. And when I said 28 games ago that Ollie Rathbone should be in with your thought pathing for player of the season at the end of the year, I think he's in the mix. I really do think he's in the mix. And who'd have thought when he started with his career with Wrexham, where he wasn't getting much time and he wasn't looked upon as one of the starters, more so as a bench player or squad player. Look at him now, and he's given us 6 goals, and quite a few have been absolute crackers, yeah? So, is he worthy of your player of the year? Obviously, you've got people like Jack Marriott on 19 games, 5 goals because of the injury, now back looking for a goal, and a whole host of guys on 3 down to 1. Smithy on 13 is, I think, 4th on scoring in the league. We're going to get to the top scorers pretty soon. But Sam Smith, 2 goals for Wrexham, 11 goals for Reading, and he's on 13 on the season. Let's take a look now at the head-to-head. This is a part of the show that I do get a smile for. I enjoy it because it tells you something about what happened, when, where, and when. Because if you don't know your history, you will now. Take a look head-to-head. Wrexham and Wycombe. Enjoy. Again, as you're listening, I do say this much. Please like, subscribe, and hit the channel, all notifications, and get ready for the live commentary coming up for this game. We're into the head-to-head now. You've got to ask yourself 3 questions, and that's to Wrexham fans worldwide and Wycombe fans worldwide. How many have you won? How many have you lost? And how many have you drawn? Let's start off with Wycombe. How many have you won? 8. Not so bad. How many have been drawn? 10. Wrexham fans, ask yourself 1 question. Have you won more or less? Close, but no coconut. Now, let's take a look at the historical stuff, because you might have lost by 1 there, but look at this. The first match was 1994. When you consider that these clubs are old, that's not that old. But there's your first win, 1994. The first loss a year later. The worst day was a 5-2 loss in 2001. And the best day, well, that was the first game back in 1994, the 4-1. Looking at the final last 5, well, there's the first 4 of the last 5. So bragging rights goes to who? Wycombe or Wrexham? On this occasion, 3-2 earlier in the season. Wycombe looking to avenge that. So there's the head-to-head. I tell you, I love the head-to-head. I really enjoy putting it together, and a lot of people write and say they do too. If you want to get in touch directly, fifascup@gmail.com. FIFA scup@gmail.com. Directly to me, and tell me what you like and what you don't like about the show. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification buttons too, guys. But if you want to get in touch directly, fifascup@gmail.com. FIFA, FIFA, SCUP, scup@gmail.com. Anything you need. Okay, match prediction. Let's get into that right now. So, getting into the scoreline, let's take a look at the odds first. The odds favour a home win for Wycombe. Just. Those odds are very tight. Normally, I'd say I don't see a 0-0. For this game, you probably could, but it's doubtful. You're probably more likely to see a 1-1. If it goes good for Wycombe, it could be the 2-1 or by the odd goal. Is it going to be a 3-2? You never know. But Wycombe are favourites to win this game. If it goes the other way, I see a 1-goal game for Wrexham, but it's got to be an amazing defensive game. They've got to own the ball. They've got to get down the play. But most of all, Wrexham's got to show up on the road. Recently, 4 wins out of 5. This has got to be 5 out of 6, or at least a draw. That's why 1-1 could be happening. So it could be just by the 1 goal is what I'm thinking. I don't think anybody's going to run riot here. And if they do, it's just one of those days. Is it possible? Yes, it probably is. But it probably won't come from the away team. It probably could come from the home team. I don't see a goal fest is what I'm saying. But if it did, only Wycombe's going to do that on the day. I just have it in my bones to think that. The other thing about this one is that this is a good time for Wrexham to actually meet up with Wycombe at this stage of the season, simply because they've had the coaching change. You can't tell me for 2 seconds of the day that Wycombe's form hasn't taken a slight dip. What I mean by a slight dip, I've said it all season long, is that when they look like they're going to lose, they draw. More so recently is when they've looked like they might be losing a game, they fight back and get a draw. Top teams can do that. Wycombe is a top team. But again, are they the same team under Dodsey that they were under Bloomfield? It's a question that I throw to you because I've seen the difference. I really have. Is it a new coach? And I think it probably is. It takes time for that team to settle, to get under the new philosophy of the coaching staff and the coach himself. It doesn't happen that both coaches, in and out coaches, can think the same game. The other thing about this match as well, and all Wrexham fans will know exactly where I'm going with this, is that can Wrexham bring another big performance? Simply because 4 of the last 5 ended in wins on the road, away from home for Wrexham. Yes, Wycombe fans, 4 out of 5, the last matches, Wrexham has won 4 of those 5. Are they going to win 5 out of 6? They can do it home or away. It's just one of those things that if they play a great game, they may well get a point. And a point at this stage, ask yourself right now, Wrexham fans, worldwide, or OGs in Wrexham right now, waiting to go to the game. Would you take a point right now? Would you settle for 1 point out of this match right now? Down below, tell me what you're thinking. I know what I think. I want to know what you're saying right now. Down below, would you settle for the point? Because honestly, for my take, Wycombe is definitely the favourite for the match. The other question, Wrexham fans, is what we got to ask ourselves as well. Although we got a great squad and a totally informed manager, can we bring the performance? Can we show up and deliver the quality and snatch a 1-0 win? That's the question. Can we show up? A few people have got in touch and asked, do you think we're going to show up for this one? And I'm asking you the same thing. Can we show up? Do you think we will? Or are we going to see another game like Reading? And I tell you now, it would not be the end of the season to lose 2 back-to-back, but it would be the first time this season. And that's a habit we don't want to have grow. The other thing someone said to me this week as well, fifascup@gmail.com, email me, was if for some reason Wrexham do get into the Championship, do we go with Phil Parkinson? Or do the hierarchy look to change the coach? It's an interesting question. It's quite an interesting question. Is it too early to think like that? I don't think it is, but I think it's great to think for the future. I like Phil. I'm happy with Phil. But some people have it that maybe we might need to change if, the big if, is if Wrexham go up another division. It would be amazing. 3 leagues, 3 years. Doesn't happen every day of the week, that's for sure. But would that be a thought in your mind? No matter what happens, you got to think some away performances this season just haven't been up to it. And sometimes, because of great defense, we've gotten really good results. In fact, we've won games through attrition. Great goalkeeping at times as well, especially Callum Burton in the beginning of the season. Too bad he didn't continue, because I tell you what, I loved what he brought to the table. Absolutely stunning on the way he ruled the box, governed the defence, safe hands, great feet, great reading of the game. I'm not saying Arthur doesn't. He does, obviously. But Callum, another great guy that we've got in the ranks. But the performances have not been always the best. For this to turn out for a result being a draw straight off the bat, a win possibly for Wrexham, for this to happen, Wrexham's got to bring a big road performance. They've got to be so up for this, where I have to say, even the commentator midweek didn't think that it was more than much of a slow-paced game. There wasn't much fire in the bellies. Wrexham need to come out with fire in their bellies and chase every single ball and chase every lost cause all game long, 90 minutes plus, and then and only then may Wrexham get a result. If not, Wycombe are the favourites for this one, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. They've been a great season all season long. They're not going to stop now. They have a dip in form, but it's still moving forward and they're still collecting points. They've only lost 1 recently. They've only lost 5 all season. Wrexham's lost 8. 61 goals they bagged in the process. Wrexham, 50. 33 goals against. Wycombe. Wrexham, 30. You see how tight it is? We're in for a match. We're in for a football match. We're in for a physical match, but we're in for a nice match. I think this is going to be very, very entertaining and somewhat soft football, because football will be what's getting played. I've got a feeling you're going to see Wycombe probably run riots around Wrexham's defence. And Wrexham are going to have to grow in stature, grow in the game like they did against Rotherham. You've got to grow in the game. I think they've got to face the first 15 minutes, get out of dodge, not concede, keep it together, and keep that great defensive mould moving along. But eventually, they've got to get down the field. They've got to move as a unit. They've got to start playing the ball, moving wide, left and right. And then, you got to say, the strikers have then got to produce. We got to set up moves. But above all, when Wrexham get the ball, just as I said, they got to make that ball pressure. If the ball doesn't pressure anything around Wycombe, there's no goal coming. And we got to move forward as a unit all together. Free kicks, corners are key. Back post is definitely where to go. And if we have some fortune, Wrexham may well come out of this game with a point. If it's 3, they brought a classic performance that you'll remember all season long, like you do the first game of the season when Wrexham beat Wycombe 3-2. At the end of the day, we're in for a match. I'm really gunning, buzzing for it. I hope you are too. If not, you better need to be, because this is it. Win this one, Wrexham, we're looking real good. We're looking real good. Lose this one, it's still not over. The dream is still alive. But win this one and stay level with Wycombe and get to them 8 games of glory, whereby that video's coming and what's entailed within will make you understand why I am not down, but I'm definitely up. Up for the rest of the season, up for the next 10 games, up for this match, up for any game that Wrexham is in. Oh yeah. So it's Wycombe, Wrexham, Adams Park. Let's have it. Cheers.